What Dead Space gets right about isolation is the constant reminder that your crewmates are nearby. They're on a different part of the ship, they're just out of reach, and it's this consistent out of reach feeling that Dead Space masters when it comes to presenting the feeling of isolation. And one of its greatest strengths is it's starting off of the main ship. It's your crew, unaware of what's happening on this, massive ship, and immediately in the game being separated and feeling helpless. And as the story continues and they're just out of reach, you're working to reunite. You're working to reunite to um, rejoin them. But no matter what you do, they're just out of reach, and you never actually achieve the goal of reuniting. And even when you do, main characters will start to die. And so, what Dead Space really masters with isolation is not only the separation of your crew, but it's the feeling that around every corner is the unknown. You don't know what these creatures are. You don't know as you progress how big they are. You start hearing weird noises and sounds, and it's horrific. It's horrifying. And I think that what Dead Space does so well is it really allows you and leaves you to use your own imagination of what's actually hidden behind the walls of the ship. And with the creatures coming out of the ventilation systems constantly throughout the game, it really allows you to add to the game with your own imagination of just how horrible this infection or whatever it is goes. And it's to the point that in order for the main protagonist to overcome this horrific sense of discomfort, he starts imagining his dead wife. How much the developers really wanted to emphasize on this one feeling. If there was one feeling that they had in the game when they were making this game, it was to make you feel isolated and alone. And there's nothing comforting about the ship. There's nothing comforting about the hallways. The walls are cold, the floors are slippery. It's blood, it's guts, it's slime. It's a very ugly, dark, and cold game. And I think that EA and the people that made this game have really mastered what Dead Space is supposed to be about. And I can't talk about later franchises. I think that they kind of went off course. But with this first game, it's like they went after the original Alien movie, the first one, where it was just this monster, you're on a ship, you're alone, the people that would be your support network pass. And so I think that that's what they mastered really well with Dead Space. And I think that you can also draw parallels to real life. When you look at the internet, you look at social media, people are talking less and less to each other. They're less socialized. They're more isolated in their rooms, playing video games or whatever they get up to. And these same psychological tricks that happen in the game are also evident in real life, where people are just out of reach. You're talking to them through online, in the DMs or whatever, but not actually in person. And you still are alone because these people are within reach, but not really. Just like your crewmates are within reach, but not really. And I think that with this isolated epidemic, people becoming more and more native with social media, we only see people become more and more lonely. And I think that Dead Space is a great game that really captivates that. Let me know what you think. How do you think that Dead Space captures isolation? What do you think that they could have done more to captivate this feeling? Um, is it more honest that he's seeing his dead wife and the mental struggles that he's starting to take on as he grows more and more desperate to survive? Let me know. Thanks for watching.